Hello everyone, this is Imagine Old People, and welcome to part 3 of What If Deku Had All for One. So, last time we left off was Deku and Kaito getting, or doing the UA entrance exam, and poor little Arie being taken by the Shihei Hakusai. When was the last time you saw her? The investigator had asked. Of course, Inko told him everything. Hisashi saw how his heartbroken wife and adopted son were when Arie... How heartbroken his wife and adopted son were when Arie didn't come home that day. Kaito was... Well, Hisashi didn't like to talk about it. No one did. Although, unbeknownst to Inko, Hisashi and the boys knew exactly who had stolen Arie and where they were keeping her. One night, Hisashi came into the boys' room. My sons, tonight is the night that I bring your sister home. But you may not come with me, Hisashi says, his voice having no emotion except grief. Izuku actually is the one who tries to protest, but Kaito, surprisingly, shushes Midoriya, telling him that this is the way, this is the only way. Hisashi nods, hugs his two sons, and walks to the door. He sees his beautiful, loving wife Inko on the floor beside the door, home phone clutched in her hand. He bends down to Inko, whose eyes flutter open, but she's still half asleep. Did I startle you? Come. At least sleep on the couch, Hisashi says, softly, picking her up and hoisting her onto the couch, covering a blanket over her, or draping a blanket over her. Right, dear. Are you going somewhere? She asks sleepily. Perhaps, he says, while kissing her on the forehead and walking away. Hisashi, or rather, All for One, is standing in front of the entrance to the Shihei Hakusai. I never thought I would have to put this damn mask back on, but here I go, All for One says, putting his mask on his face. All for One walks inside and is met by resistance by both armed and quirk-wielding Yakuza members. He mercilessly slaughters them, not a single ounce of regret appearing across his face. In the room where Arie is being held, Mimic, Heijiki, Toya, and Yu are talking while some others are in the back. Kendo Rappa, Quirk, strong arm. He can wind his shoulders back so fast. He can wind his shoulders so fast that they come forward with blitzing speed and immense power. Rikiya Katsukame, Quirk, vitality steal. He has the ability to steal others' vitality, and which basically equates to he has the ability to drain someone else's strength while giving him strength. So kind of like Leech Seed from Pokemon. God, that was... Anyways. Soramitsu Tabe, Quirk, food. He can literally eat anything. And Deidoro Sakaki, Quirk, sloshed. Gives whoever is in his radius a drunken quirk effect, or whoever he can direct it at one person, but he can't direct it at multiple people. If he's trying to affect multiple people, he has to do his radius, but he can just do it to one person or multiple or everybody in the radius. He can't choose just an amount of normal people and then have his gang members not be affected. If it's a large group of heroes, he has to affect or he has to affect the heroes and his team if he wants to affect everyone or all the heroes. So, Arie is in her chair. Her eyes are emotionless. She can't cry anymore. She has no tears left to cry. She has no hope that her father or her loving brothers or loving mother will comfort her. Well then, it looks like the plan might work. They've definitely noticed that she's gone. The missing persons report went out. Yes, but you must understand, Mimic. When the boys do get here, we must be ready. Man, whatever. Let's kill those brats and get this over with. Toya says. Guys, do you hear that? Yu says. Gunshots and explosions are ringing off upstairs. All of a sudden, the door explodes, and All for One throws the lifeless body of a random Yakuza guard to the floor. Who the hell is that? What the fuck are you doing here? Who are you? I am All for One. And you have my daughter. Well, that's not good. No, it isn't. Well, if she's your daughter, then where's your two brats of sons? We were expecting them. They won't be coming anytime soon. For now, I'm the only one you will face. Get them! Get him! Mimic yells. Soramitsu charges at All for One, hoping to get a good chomp on its arm or shoulder to, basically take that out of play. But he just sticks his palm straight into Soramitsu's open mouth. Clamping down, putting his thumb on Soramitsu's nose, and rips the top half of his head straight off. Rikia pops one of those quirk-enhancing pills to power up, and so does Rappa, Deidaro, and even Toya, as well as you. Oi, boss, let us handle this brute, Rappa says to Heijiki. Oh, come on, you're gonna leave me out? Hell no, Toya says ecstatically. Get the fuck out of here with that girl. I'm gonna have some fun. Same here. I'll stay behind as a distraction, Yu says. Toya draws his sword, Rikia and Rappa get their fists ready. Deidaro plans to use his effect, and Yu prepares to launch as many crystals as he can at once. Mimic and Heijiki run off with Arie. Rikia and Rappa rush towards All for One, while Deidaro, Yu, and Toya stay back. Rikia tries to go for a double forward hook, but AFO catches his fist and knees him in the stomach, then flicking his arm backwards towards Rappa and uses his wind pressure quirk to push him and fling him into the wall. All for One then picks up Rikia by the shirt forms a black ball of energy in his hand. Cleansing wave, he yells, the black energy turning into a blast and completely disintegrating Rikia's head. All for One then turns to Deidaro. Although they can't see it, he's glaring daggers into every single one of them. Deidaro is trying to use his quirk to put All for One off his game, but nothing seems to be happening. All of a sudden, All for One sticks his right arm out and dashes forward with blinding speeds. He clotheslines Deidaro so hard that his throat caves in on impact. Toya and Rappa go to charge All for One at the same time, but it is useless. Cleansing wave, All for One yells, completely disintegrating Rappa and Toya with an even bigger blast. Yu is the last man standing, and he tries to use his crystals to no avail. All for One seems to teleport beside him, and quickly decapitates him. Down the hall, Mimic and Heijiki have both used quirk-enhancing pills. As they prepare, they feel an ominous presence. All for One. Like a god chasing a sinner, is the presence they have come to fear. Heijiki is doing his best to defend against All for One's relentless attacks. Heijiki and Mimic are actually doing much better than anyone else, more than likely because of their high defensive capabilities and lack of confidence, making them more, careful. Eventually, Mimic had enough. If he couldn't get revenge, if he was going to die here, then he might as well take out something precious to the man that's killing them. Heijiki lowers his barriers for Mimic to shoot almost to shoot nearly 20 metal rods from the room straight at Arie. But as he lowers the barriers, as soon as he does, All For One completely obliterates him, almost like he's Beerus using the Hakai, or Overhaul turning someone to mush. But now there is a choice. He could kill Mimic right now while he's exposed, or he could save his daughter. All For One smiles. Damn. I guess I can rest easy knowing that I died doing this. He flies towards Arie and embraces her in a tight hug. Hundreds of metal... Well, not hundreds, literally, but like a bunch of metal poles go straight into his pack, piercing his organs, destroying his spine, ensuring that he'll die from this attack. All For One pulls back and says, Arie, give this to Kaito. Make sure you live a happy life, he says while handing Arie a small syringe of what seems to be blood, then pushing her back into a portal made out of a wet, sticky substance. And she is now back in her room at the Midoriya residence. The portal closes, and All For One stands off, taking off his mask and destroying it, symbolizing the end of an era as he yells, Izuku, Kaito, Arie, my beloved Inko, but you as well, Nana Shimura, All Might. I hope that I finally atoned for my sins. Kamikaze. From all over the city, All For One's final explosion has taken out all of the Shihei Hakusai for good. Kaito, Inko, Izuku, and Arie all stand outside on the balcony, tears falling from their eyes as their father, their husband, their shoulder left this world and their lives for good. Kaito takes Arie inside, while Izuku says that he will take care of their mother. Kaito nods and takes Arie to bed, tucking her into the covers and laying beside her, holding her as she, although she thought she didn't have any tears left, she wails, tears flooding her eyes and cheeks. Arie cries until a point of exhaustion where she just completely passes out. The next morning, Kaito and Izuku get a note that says, "You have been accepted into UA Academy." They don't even care to watch the videos, as the two brothers sit on the couch, holding each other, crying. And that's where I'm going to leave off this part. Yeah, this is actually relatively short. I didn't mean for it to be that short. I'll try to make part 4 longer. I might try to make part 4 around 20 minutes because I'm going to try and cover a lot in part 4. I'll try to cover both the USJ and probably all of the sports festival in part 4. Yeah, more than likely that's what I'll do. So, anyways, remember, if you guys like, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and, as I said in the last video, leave comments. I love reading your comments. It's very entertaining to me. I really like reading the comments, and I also love the advice that you guys might give me. And, as always, I'll post the links to the past 2 parts in the description. And besides that, I have nothing else left to say. So, I hope you have a great day.